Stephen, left molders going.
Welcome to episode 6 of Spotlight. You join us on the Loggies complex and we're currently on Reed Lake. I've got here a couple of hours before Mark, and after having these two I think it's definitely time for round 2 of a little competition after he near on beat me at RKB, and I can't remember which session that was, but it doesn't matter. We won't count these, but when he gets here, definitely going to input to him that we're going to have another comp.
Something different about you.
It's been 6 months, mate, and I feel like a new man.
You certainly look like a new man.
Oh.
So it's a shame he hasn't brought the weather with him, because it's absolutely hammering it down. There's a lovely rainbow in the background, but fantastic fishing, hopefully. You've had a few.
I've had 2 fish, as I said. I feel like it's time for another comp.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
I need to get my own back on that last one.
What is it? RKB
There was one fish in it, and I lost one fish right at the end. And I feel we can have a little bit of have quite a few fish out of here.
Yeah, they're not the biggest fish in here, but they're dark.
They're very pretty fish.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get on the main lake Loggies, so we're on the smaller lake of the two, which doesn't matter, but it's a little bit different from something else that we've done recently.
So we can have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
Have a bit of fun.
So try and with the amount of fish or the biggest weight?
I don't think we should weigh these, because some of these are going to be small.
I mean, if we have a decent fish, we can weigh it, but I reckon we should just go on quantity of fish.
Yeah, we're going quantity of fish.
But the first 2 fish that I have had, we're not going to count, because he didn't even have any rods in the water. So we're going to start fresh from now. Quantity of fish, weights. I mean,
if we get something decent, we'll weigh it.
We will weigh it, but it won't count as weight. It will just still count as 1 fish.
So the competition is quantity only.
Yep.
And are we allowed to stalk?
Yep, you can do your favourite method of fishing, mate, and go and find them. 1 rod, you can't be going walk around with 3 of them.
Okay.
But
well,
no.
That's cool, because I did have a walk around earlier, and there's a few fish over the back here, but I've plotted up here for convenience, because as you can see, it's not the biggest lake, and I can hit that bank from here anyway quite easily if I need to. But I'd rather creep up on them and, yeah, stealthily stalk them out.
So, yeah.
Shake on it then, let's go.
Welcome back.
Cheers, mate. Are we rolling? Good morning. Last night didn't happen for me and Mark. Hasn't happened as of yet. Not sure why. I've done a few changes. Mark done a few changes. They are on the surface already. And Mark, as we speak, he is trying to have a couple off the surface. But I'm over here, and I'm over here with Carmen. She's also part of the New Direction team. She's come over from Germany. She was a couple of swims down, and she's had a fish out of here that none of us expected to have. And she has a really nice common down there. So if you come down here, we'll have a look at this. That is a serious fish, isn't it?
Oh God.
Mate, that paddle is like an elbow slapper.
Hell yeah.
That is a stunning fish. I know. Anything in particular done to catch it?
Yeah, I have changed my single rigs with just bait on it.
Yeah.
To solid bags.
Solid bags.
Solid bags have worked it out.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's definitely a fish to remember, that is.
Have a look at the other side, right?
Starting the fish up.
There's only one problem.
What's that?
You're in it. Get out. There we go.
Well, I've had an absolute atrocious night's sleep. I don't know what was going on with my rigs last night, but my bobbins were dancing around like nobody's business, which was really frustrating because I kept thinking I was having a run. I could swing my legs out ready to go for it, but I don't know, something was alright. Can't put my finger on exactly what it was really, other than my rig was all sort of twisted, so I don't know if there's crazy or something like that. But this morning I've seen carp cruising about at the top, and I've found some 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝗀 out there, and I've actually got them going. So I brought 2 of my rods in. I've got one still on the bottom over in that corner there, but that main area where the dog biscuits are, I've got a controlled float out there now. So I'm hoping to pick a few up, and there's a lot of fish out there actually feeding quite promptly. So I might have the edge over Mr. Fuller with this particular tactic, because I know he's on the bottom of some bags over there. But, we'll see what happens, shall we? Camera's just turned off and this has happened. Got one on. I don't think it's a big fish, but it puts me on the scoreboard, and I don't think Fuller's had anything over there. I'm not sure because I haven't seen him this morning. So oh, he's behind me.
A 2 fish count now. Is that bream? Please be a bream.
It's a carp, but it's a little baby. Not very well hooked. It's just in the top lip. Get in that net. Bag.
What do we say?
What do we say? Certainly 1-0. There she is. First one. It's a lovely little dark little fish. And more importantly, it's winning me this match at the moment.
I finally had one on the surface this morning. After seeing Mark having one, I've come into this corner. It happens to be where 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝗀 is. And a couple of minutes ago, I finally had one, but it's locked me up solid in a weed bed. So I've put the rod down. It's still on there, as you can hear the alarm going off. And I'm just hoping it comes out by itself, because where it's surface equipment, I can't be pulling it. So I've got to let it do its thing. And hopefully it swims out by itself, but only time will tell.
Hopefully we get a draw game.
Yeah, hopefully it goes 1-1. Is that coming out? So it's 1-1. I've finally had one. I've had one off the top just like Mark's had. The fish might not be the biggest in here, but when they look like this, I mean, look at the colour of that. There isn't a fish I haven't seen or caught out of here yet that doesn't have these colours. That is a mental fish. Still very angry, showing off with his dorsal up. Imagine that being £40.
Game on then, yeah?
Game on, absolutely game on, Mark. I'm going to get that rod back out and just continue to do what I've been doing. Immediately.
As you can see, we're in a different swim, and not only we're in a different swim, we're on a different lake. So a couple of swims come up on Loggies, the main lake, 10 and 11. We walked around here and had a quick look, and
there was, what was the word you used? Chocked?
chock-a-block, choked full of carp, all in this area out here. This swim tends to get neglected, apparently, and you can understand why. You've got to be quite confident in fishing this sort of area, because yeah, it's going to be difficult to land anything here. But the fish out of here is going to be rewarding, isn't it?
Although we was having fun, and the fish we were having out of there, we walked into this swim and seen, we can't say how big they were because the water, it can change the shape of a fish, but they were units. Just literally tail out, heading out, bobbing along in freeze in so many different areas. So that was an instant. We looked at each other and went, well, we've got to make this happen. And it was straight back to the other lake, packed our stuff up and got in there as soon as we could.
So I think we might as well put this little competition that we had going on, not only hold, but
yeah, because that on there was a bit more for fun. The fish were smaller. They were going to come we were going to have a lot more fish than what we probably are out of here. This is fishing for a bite.
Yeah, so we're going to basically work together, sort of, really, and we're using different techniques pretty much on every single rod. You put one out with a bait boat, haven't you?
I've got one out with the bait boat, one on the bag, one on the chod, and I've put them all, because obviously the bait boat's got a deeper chirp built in on it. So I was able to find a very clear spot, but a very small spot that all the fish keep patrolling over. So I'm fishing the same, but I'm using a boat. And
I'm fishing a chod also on one rig, but I've got a zig out on one and I've got a surface bait out on the other. I'm probably later on going to fish 2 zigs out there, because they are cruising around in like a little channel around some lily pads and some coarse weed. Yeah, just along that edge there. And I think if I can present a couple of different zigs at different heights, I may be able to slip one up. And to be fair, if I can get one out of here, I'm going to be over the moon. Particularly when matey boy over the back there said good luck, we're trying to catch a fish out of here, so that gives you a bit more of an edge, doesn't it?
Sorry, because he's
reason
lost
to catch
5
one
in the weed.
But we're all out there anyway, so now it is literally the waiting game.
What fish you got in here?
They go in their 40s, don't they?
I can't be certain, don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure the biggest fish in here goes 46. But that's not the only 40 in here. I think there's quite a few 40s, and there is a big head of 30s in here. I have done a previous session on here once. I had a 27-pound common. That's the only fish I've had. But the weed, they've also said it's never been this bad. That is why these swims are now being avoided. The weed is, there's a lot of it in there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of weed.
It's that bad. I'm going to probably bring my rods in, so I'm fishing only 20-30 yards out, because I don't want to be fishing at range trying to come through the amount of weed.
And that's exactly what I've done. I've come in closer.
I think
you've got more chance of landing fish.
Yeah, short.
Whereas I've seen every other angler, they're fishing as close as they can to these big weed beds, but they're fishing over the top of weed as well. They just can't see it,
and that's why
they're losing fish.
So, yeah.
And they're in close. They're showing us they're in close.
Close.
There's no point going out in distances when they're in front of you.
No.
So hopefully one of us, I'm not even bothered if I don't have one, just if we can have a decent fish out of here.
Let's see what happens. We
Yeah.
had some fish out of the other lake. Carmen
Yeah.
had that nice mid-20 as well, didn't she?
Yeah.
So it's not been a disaster, that's for sure.
And it ain't over yet.
No, we've got 36 hours to go, yeah.
Never mind. PB.
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 The bucket, hopefully. I'm sure there's something different about you.
I still licked them. When you said it, it was like a reaction and I licked. He went, I sure there's something different. I went, and I just did it naturally, yeah. Right at the end. So we're coming into the evening now, and unfortunately nothing has happened, even though it looked like it was spot on to have a bite, especially to the left. That they were tail up, head down. Generally thought it was going to happen. We have had them feeding on the surface, but it just hasn't resulted in one picking out our bait. And the heavens opened about half an hour ago, and it absolutely threw it down. My plans for tonight are not going to change. I'm on 3 areas. The fish are still patrolling over them 3 areas, so I'm hoping maybe tonight they'll get their heads down on them, because we have seen them feeding, we have seen them with their heads down, so only time will tell, and hopefully I'm holding the fish up next time you see me.
I can't believe where today has actually gone. It's gone so quickly, and I'm a little bit annoyed with myself really that I haven't had anything, because I've had fish all over me spots. My left hand rod earlier was fizzing like a jacuzzi. I was getting liners, but they didn't pick my bait up. And now I'm trying to work out in my head why they didn't pick it up. So I'm probably overthinking things, but I've got them out there. I'm still reasonably happy with the areas that they're in, and I'm just trying to kill time now, waiting for the bite, making a few solid bags up just in case I do need them later. Yeah, don't know really what else to say at the moment. It's slow, but they're out there, so hopefully all it takes is just that window of an hour of them feeding, and we know on certain lakes you have certain patterns throughout the day and certain windows where they do get on the feed on the bottom, so maybe we haven't entered that yet and we're coming into it, so let's see what happens, I suppose. At the moment it's not.
I say we give it an hour.
I might go for a wander, see if, because there's been 4 or 5 vans past this morning, so I might go and have a quick look, see if I can see anything anywhere else. It's going to be a little bit easier to... Alright, well, I'm going to go for a wander, I think. I'll take my GoPro with me just in case I can catch something on my route round, but I'm going to go and have a look, see if I can find one of the other swims elsewhere that's got fish in it, and more presentable. They're here, but it's just really hard presenting the bait on there, and as you can see, probably we've got the whole lake wildlife in coots literally in front of us, and all night they've been all over our beds of bait, so I don't know.
I think I'm going to persist. As I just said a second ago, there is a fish. It's literally down there in my bottom left right margin. So while you go for a wander, I'm probably going to attempt to try and get that fish to see if it will take any surface baits. But only time will tell if you go off and have one. We just need a fish now, out of here. Yeah, because we've seen them swimming in front of us.
A bit more time on there.
Yeah.
We'll be alright. It's just we've made some quick, rash decisions. Well, not so much rash.
We've made the right decisions quickly.
We didn't have the chance to get on this lake before, then we did. So we've come over here and we run out of time.
Yeah, we took the opportunity of what we got given, and that is what we were dealt with.
the only 2 swims, but now there's some left.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for 1 now.
Nice.
Fella's still over the back there, so I have moved round into this peg. There is a few fish still in this area.
Right, so it's the last day. It's still early morning. Found a complete new clear spot just on the back of some weed. See some fish there, and it has not taken long for that to go. And the hardest part of this is it's just swam straight over the weed. I'm shaking. I'm absolutely shaking. Get away from that weed. There's a wasp on my head. Go away. Yes. Get away from the pond. That's it. I'm back. Yes. So after a very long wait and continuing to persist with the fish that we could clearly see that were on our spots, I've finally had one. Mark's doing his thing, going around stalking, trying to nick a bite. I stayed. I finally had one. It's not the biggest, but I don't care. Look at that. That is an absolute stunning common. And I can definitely say there's still fish on that spot, and there's more fish to be had. Just hopefully I can have more. But if I don't, I'm happy all the same. You saw me in the last part where I was shaking, the adrenaline was absolutely bursting. Yeah, I'm well happy.
So how you got on there? Ain't seen you for a while.
No, I actually had one eventually. Yeah, I moved spots. I went a little bit further between the islands, found an absolutely solid spot where me and James saw about 3 fish. Yeah. One tail went up, so I used the boat just to make sure it was solid. It was, dropped a choddy on it. It wasn't in there for any more than 15-20 minutes. And the best thing about it was the lead dropped instantly and it just came straight over the top of the weed. Straight over the top of the weed. I know, and I said if it does go again, it probably won't go that way. Yeah. But I'm lucky I landed that one. So did you have anything?
I've got a little bit of good news. There was only a couple of little small fish cruising about. And probably nicked one of the smaller fish in the lake, but I don't think it's been caught very often because its mouth was absolutely immaculate, bit of a kinky tail. Well, obviously I'll have to see that when Jamie puts this together. So we haven't seen each other's fish. We haven't, but so it'll be footage we haven't seen, so it'll be more exciting to watch for us. Exactly, but we've still got something to settle. We do. So let's get back to Reed Lake. First one to catch a fish. That's what I was going to say as well. Just do that. First one to catch. We're tired, we're sweaty. They're still all cruising about. More than likely with this sun like they were last time. One fish decides it. One rod. One rod next to each other. No rules. But if you want to wander off, you can. And also, everything goes.
Oh mate, everything.
Cast over me, cast over you. Job done. Right, cool. Let's go and do
Right,
this.
let's go and do it. Right,
One rod each.
one rod.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. In that weight. Next there. There we go. I think that makes me the winner. Another little small mirror. Another little scale pattern. Looks familiar though. I'm sure.
Hold up. No.
I think it is the
Wait
one
a
I caught
minute.
earlier.
Right. You're not going to be able to see this. So that fish,
It's the same weird
he's already
fish.
caught it. It doesn't count. We call that a draw.
It still counts, but
No, it's a draw.
it's a draw. It's a bit of an insignificant win anyway, to be honest with you, because you've had better fish. So there we go. Still another fish. One last look, other side. There we go.